I'm glad we're having this talk today. It's a great talk. It's a chance for us to introduce to you, those of you who don't already know about these wines, the wines of Charles Noellat. Now, Charles Noellat used to be a very famous name, 30, 40 years ago. The name was repurchased, like bought, sold, and the current owner of the name, Stéphane Moreau, has a wonderful thing going from negociant business style. So basically, negociant in Burgundy, negociant could be a little bit of anything, right? Negociants basically, they don't own the vineyards. Other than that, anything goes. They can buy juice, they can buy must, they can buy bottled wines, they can buy pretty much anything, slap a label on it, and it's theirs if you're a negociant. Now, that being said, there's a very unique operation that Stéphane has going where he's almost got like a take all comers type proposition where he says, if you got older wines in your cellar, bring them to me and I'll figure it out. And he's basically, this word is spread out amongst all the domains and small teeny tiny producers in Burgundy. There's a lot of producers in Burgundy that don't have their wines marketed in the US. They're teeny tiny, they're small, they're based just in a little local village. They sell wines as they're called en vrac, by the bottle, locally. And we're not talking about Romanée Conti and Rousseau here. We're talking about these little mom and pop operations that don't have an outlet for some of their older vintages. And maybe things are changing, maybe they're getting older, maybe the domain is selling, etc. And he takes these older wines on. And here's the funny thing. Burgundy originally got its reputation as being a cruel mistress for a reason. And that reason is for every great bottle of Burgundy you had two good ones, you had three pretty good ones, and you had two or three who were just like, what the hell? And that ratio kind of applies to Stéphane's negociant business. So you have to be very diligent in sourcing. He's less diligent knowing he can find a market for any of these wines. For example, from what he told us, the market in Japan was very aggressive for like the super earthy, kind of super funky older Burgundies. He can sell those all day long there. Your US market requires fresher wines. The European market requires more detailed, elegant wines, et cetera, et cetera. So he knows there's a butt for every seat. Whenever these guys roll up to his facility and say, hey, I have 600 bottles of old, et cetera, would you be interested? And he says, of course. He checks all the bottles to make sure they're cool. He does recorking on some of them if the corks are a bit suspect, etc. And the end product can sometimes be really compelling. That being said, when we go and taste through these wines, we will taste 20 older bottlings to find two gems. And those two gems may not be the wines you think are going to be the ones, right? Because if you buy on vintage, right? 2010 was a great year, 2009 excellent year, 05 outstanding year. Well, we recently did a tasting of a few of these wines, and in the end, the winner chicken dinners, two 2007s, not the Tony appellations, not the ones you're like, oh, of course the 2010 Villon Romanée is going to be amazing. Nope, wasn't it. Two 2007s from less known or less desired appellations, shall we say. So the first on our hit list today from our wonderful tastings with Stéphane is the 2007 Charles Noellat Auxey Duresses Premier Cru Les Grands Champs. So Auxey Duresses is one of those poor appellations. These guys, they don't stand a chance. Much like Pernon Vergelès and Montilly and some of these lesser known appellations with really tough names, American consumers tend to shy away from these wines because A, what the hell is it? B, half the time there's red and white wines made in the same appellation. C, Russian paratroopers. D, there's like a million reasons that American consumers come up with not to purchase wines from these appellations. Most of it's the intimidation factor. What the hell is it? Well, Auxey Duresses is a terrific appellation in Burgundy, near Volnay, Meursault, Montilly, in that area in the Côte de Beaune. And they make reds and whites, both compelling. And what we're encountering nowadays, again, with climate change, is some of these lesser known appellations are coming into the spotlight because the wines are consistently juicy, bright, effusive, flavorful, wonderful. And this wine is no exception. So 2007 was a vintage that we had a little hangover from 2005. 2005 was a hell of a Burgundy vintage, one of the greatest ever. And when the 2007s came out, which were plump, engaging, warmer year, juicy, not huge wines, they didn't get quite the run, probably that they should have as a vintage. Well, time fixes all that, right? So this 2007 from well, it's bottled as Noellat, but we don't know which domain it originally came from. That's always a great secret. Is just an absolutely stunning wine for the money. And like I said, we only pick about 10% of the wines we taste from this operation to run with here to sell to you. And this one astoundingly made the cut. We were blown away. And one of the key factors is we tasted it there and we said, yes, this is great, let's do the deal. And we came back, and always when you come back and the wine shows up and gets delivered, you're always kind of like, is it gonna be, was it the romance of the time? We were in Beaune, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's always encouraging when the wine shows up and it tastes even better than you remember when you did the deal. That's always a great, great sign for us. And that's exactly what this wine tastes like. What we're looking for with these older Burgundies at these prices, little earth, touch of that sous bois, forest floor, silky tannins. We're not looking for hard tannins. We're looking for cherry fruit. It could be red cherry, black cherry, fading into strawberry, doesn't matter. But we're looking for pleasure. We're looking for just a wonderful older Burgundy drinking experience. And the prices take care of themselves, because the one thing I can say about Stefan and his operation is the prices are remarkably fair, to the point of like crazy good. So when you do hit one, we tend to buy all of it. So in this case, there were, I don't know, 360 bottles of this, whatever, available. And we said, yes, please. Yes, please. And they ship it to us in beautiful refrigerated containers. Shows up to us here in perfect condition. An absolute delight to drink. These warmer years favor these lesser appellations because the wines get fully ripe, super engaging. You can just drink the heck out of it. This is too easy to drink. I mean, I'm drinking the hell out of it now. Like, I would continue drinking this on camera if we didn't have to roll this up pretty quick. Last bit of advice for you. These are older wines, and these are original corks. Highly encourage using an Auxey style corkscrew with the prongs, or a Durand opener. Invest in a Durand. They're one of the great investments in wine that you could buy yourself right now. That Durand wine opener is exquisite and always opens all these bottles with zero problem, and you just have this ultimate drinking experience. For $30, are you kidding me? This is stunning gear. So thanks, Stefan, for finding another one for us.